Bridgeport is a small town that I've grown up in for my whole life. So for 21 years, I've called this town home. To give you an idea of what it looks like, it was half sort of like a more spread out town and half a town that was built around a factory on a river. So where I live is more of a compact, uniform type of area. The whole town in general, though, is a small town, and I've always liked living in a town this size because you learn a few things either from the people who live there or from experiences you go through. My biggest takeaways from this town and what I've learned is to appreciate the simple things and to be creative. One of my more fond memories of this town is my 21st birthday. My cousins ended up taking me out to a bar for my 21st birthday, unbeknownst to me. Even my mom knew about it, and she's horrible at keeping secrets, so it was surprising that she didn't somehow spill it, and I had no idea this was happening. So I was basically dragged out of my house to go to this bar for my 21st, and it was funny because I had an actual party to go to later with some more family and some friends of mine. So I was essentially pre-gaming my own 21st birthday party with my cousins. I really appreciated it though because they all have their own lives now, so it took a lot of time and organization for them to figure out when they needed to call off and take time to celebrate my 21st. So that really meant a lot to me that they put that time and effort into sharing that moment with me. Another really fond memory I have is this is my friend Brian's house in the town, and his house is sort of where the friend group always meets for parties. One of the biggest ones is New Year's. And this one was a blast because a lot of my close friends, which are all in this picture, were there. And that's not always the case. Sometimes they have to skip it because they have work or they have other parties to go to. So this was a really fun party because all my closest friends were there. And I remember coming to Brian's house a few hours earlier because I helped him prep the food for these parties. We were both talking about how excited we were that so many of our good friends were coming to the party and how much fun that was going to be. Especially because a few of them in this photo hadn't been in the town in a few months because they were away at school or work. So it was really good to see them again and catch up with them. And then one of my more recent, but one of my favorite ones is this is the town park. It sits on top of a hill that overlooks the town. And this is where all the dumb stuff happens in our town. One of my favorite creative creations is this firework cannon I built out of a Wawa parking lot bumper and a rocket or a mortar launcher for fireworks. So you could essentially hold this thing like a bazooka and fire fireworks out of it, which was really cool. And of course I had to name it, because Hercules, that's a really cool name. Why wouldn't you? It's a firework launcher, right? So this park was always home to so many shenanigans. And even not shenanigans, it would just be simple things. This is the same park recently when we had a snowstorm back in January during winter break. And it hadn't snowed in my town in years. So me and my friends were like, we have to go sledding. It's 1 a.m. Doesn't look like it in this picture, but it's 1 a.m. Most of us are tired. I'm wide awake, but some of them are tired, but they're still like, we have to go sledding. So it's a bunch of dudes in our early 20s, just 1 a.m. sledding down a hill. And it felt so dumb, but it was a lot of fun, and it was an absolute blast. And so I return to my hometown when I can on the weekends now. I'm up in Lancaster for school now, so I don't really get to do these things as much with my friends or see them as often. But I think moving away from this town and being in Lancaster has made me really appreciate more these type of things and what this town has taught me. Because when you're not doing it all the time, you don't really appreciate what you have done with your friends and the memories you have made with them. And the little things that people do for you, in towns like this. So these are some of the things that my town has taught me, is to always embrace creativity and enjoy the little things. And that's really what makes me appreciate a small town and the things that it can teach you.